Okay, today we're going to be talking about budgeting. In order to get to our financial goals, we have to start with the very basics, and that's budgeting. Without a budget, you're just wandering around spending your money. Just to be clear on this site, I'm not a hype man. If you're looking to get rich, if you're looking for, oh, buy this penny stock and in 6 months it'll be worth $3 million, or even more conservative approaches of, buy this stock, Amazon or Google or something. Those are great. I'm not discounting the importance of those, but I'm not here to do that. I'm going to talk about more conservative approaches, diversification, index funds, mutual funds, things of that nature. I'm not going to do day trading, speculation, anything like that. You're not going to get motivational speeches that are all hyped up. I'll give you some positive feedback. I'll give you some statistics. I'll try to be real and honest about things I've struggled with and try to be an encouragement, but it's not going to be hype and motivation, because that dies as soon as your motivation, as soon as that excitement, emotion wears off, the access of doing wears off. So I'm going to give you the tools to implement, the encouragement to do it. I'll show you how to get rich. I believe there's one true way to get rich, and that's spend less than you make and do it for a long time. That's right, spend less than you make and do it for a long time. That's how you build wealth. And wealth is subjective. Everybody has a different scenario. What does it mean to be wealthy? My goal in my personal life is my wealth to be to where I can be totally financially independent. If I want to work, I can. If I don't want to work, I don't have to. But that my independence to do with my time as I choose is set because I have prepared and planned. So sorry about the back screens here on my computer desktop as I'm sharing. You have to see my face twice there. I'm sure that's scary. So I want to start with a quote from Warren Buffett. Financial goals provide the motivation to save, invest, and work towards a better future for yourself and your loved ones. So look at a couple statistics before I go into just how to budget. Because a lot of people, and I'm doing this because a lot of people don't know how to budget. It doesn't matter what tools you use to budget if you use them. So I'm going to show you a very simple one that I've used and I've taught my boys. And I'm going to show you a much more elaborate one, and then you can find everything in between. But the most important part is that you do it. As of 2021, average debt, not counting mortgage, is $16,000. That may not seem like a lot, but that's the average. There are people way more strapped with debt than that. If you got 16,000 but you're only making 30,000, that's huge. If you have 16,000 and you're making 300,000, then it's not really that big of a deal for you to deal with. But typically, lifestyle creep sets in. The more we make, the more we spend, and our debt and lifestyle increases with it, and we don't make the progress toward our future. Another statistic, the median savings in the U.S. is $5,000. That may seem like a lot to some people, but that's really not going to cover a lot of expenses as they come up. That's improvement from what we've seen sometimes in the past, but it still shows that there's a lot of room to be improving on where we have our money and how we're spending it. So I'm going to share the first screen I'm going to share is just a basic budget that I use. I actually do this in a ledger book. I put it on Excel here just for sharing on the computer. But this is how I basically taught my boys to budget and how I budget. The funny thing is, just like on this video, I have 3 boys. All 3 of them use this to a different level. One is extremely anal with it, very good, and follows the budgeting very hard. Another is kind of in and out, but he still uses it and it gets it. And another one is still working on kind of finding his footing on using this. And that's what I want to really focus on. It doesn't matter. This isn't the gold standard by any means. It doesn't matter if this was the best budget program ever. If you don't use it, it won't work. Budgets are only as good as the effort you put into them. So the first thing you have to do, and this is the hard part, and I'm just going to say this is the tough part, you're going to have to go to your checkbook. And those of you that don't know what a checkbook is, go to your online account and pull up your statements for the last 12 months. Because in order to set a true budget, we have to know what we are truly spending. We can't guess. We can't approximate. We have to get a very good amount fixation on what it is we're spending. So you have to go through each month. And I say monthly because there's things, like your car note may be the same every month. That's easy to estimate. Okay, my car note's $300 a month, every month, until it's paid off. So I can put that in there. But maybe my rent, that's been the same. Maybe that hasn't gone up, hopefully. Or your mortgage, that's fixed. Those are good things that are fixed. Taxes are on your mortgage. It's typically fixed. It goes up every, so often. But things like utilities, if you're looking at your electric bill in August, here today it's 105. This month it's going to be a lot higher versus if you're looking at it in December and you have, a higher gas bill depending on where your utilities come from. So you need to look at a 12-month and get an average, because how I approach this, and this is my approach, and you can take it or leave it. How I approach it is you take your 12-month average and then you're budgeting each month based on what you're going to need to cover for your average monthly bill. And we'll go through what that's like here in a moment. I just threw some numbers in here. This isn't my budget. This isn't anyone's budget. This is just some flat numbers I put in. This works whether you make $200,000 or you make $20,000. You obviously need to adjust and make sure that at the end of the day, what comes in is at least the same, if not greater than what goes out. So this is how we do it. You go through your bills for each month, add them up. So for all the clothing I spent, I add that up every month. And then I divide it by 12, and that's what I get my budget amount. Every month, that's what I have. I may spend $400 this month and not spend any for 2 months. That's why we're averaging it. The phone, that may be a set amount here. Your insurance, entertainment, how much have you spent? You may not do anything during a peak season of work. You're working a lot. But then in the summer, maybe you're doing more entertainment. You're going out to more events or whatever the case might be. Again, you want to look at what you spend on an average and then kind of set that budget. So if I don't spend, on this scenario here, $500 this month, fine. I can continue to go forward and do the things I want to do, and then next month I have extra money to do if I want to do extra things. I just put some simple things in here to explain an emergency fund. We want to get that first to $1,000 to cover emergencies if my car breaks down, something, so I don't have to add to my debt. Once I get my debt paid off, then I want to get my emergency fund up to 3 to 6 months of expenses. And we'll get into that further into another video. Sinking fund, that's if I'm saving toward another expense. Maybe I need a new car, maybe I need a roof repair, something on my house, whatever the case may be. I know it's coming. I'm trying to set that money aside slowly now, so when the time comes, I don't have to go into debt again. Retirement, we shouldn't even be talking about that if we have these debts and things down here, but I just put it in as an example as how we're doing a budget. This isn't going to be talking about how to get out of debt yet, how to arrange your budget. This is strictly how to set up a budget and get started. Step one is just to get started. It may blow the first month. You may do it the first month and be like, whoa, that wasn't close. Well, we're going to make adjustments. That's okay. We got to get started. So here's how I do it. You take the total amount that you make in a payday. So if I make $6,625 a month and I get paid twice a month, I'm going to take the amount of my bills, which I put by taking the statements from month to month. I went through January, February, March, averaged out each of the expenses I have, put that amount in here. Then I'm going to go in and take half. So this is simply, I get $1,100 toward my mortgage. On this payday, I'm putting half of it. I know some people who they'll take, okay, this payday I'm going to pay these bills. And then this payday I'm going to pay these bills. I don't like doing it like that. I like taking on this payday, I'm paying half of all of my month's bills. Then on this payday, I'm taking it again. So if I get $3,313 on this payday, I subtract $550 and put it in this account. I take $600 and put it in this account. Sorry, this is wrong. I'm going to change this. This should be $100 a month. I took the total, $1,200, and you don't pay $600 a month on your mortgage tax. If you do, you got a way bigger mortgage than that. So you take half of the monthly amount. and you just keep dividing your paycheck and putting it in what these categories are, okay? Then you have your total. So the total, what I do here is this is the total that's in there. So let's just pretend I haven't got paid yet. All this is cleared out, clear contents. So this is going to just equal, I'm not adding this up, this is just me equaling what's actually in there. So last month I had $1,100 in my mortgage, I paid it, I added $550, I now have $550 in there. Okay, let's go to, I'm just going to go down here, taxes. Okay, we're in July. Let's say that I have $250 in there, and I'm going through and I'm doing my payday, and I add $50 to this account. I go over here and I add what I put in there. Now I have $300. This is the running total. The reason I do this is so when the time comes to pay my taxes, I should have the full amount I need, which was that $1,200 for the year, $600 every 6 months. So come the 6-month bill comes due, I'm not like, oh crap, I have an unexpected $600 bill. I've been monthly preparing for that. So if I go and pay, let's just go down here, let's go to my food. Let's say I have $400 in there right now. I go shopping, I get groceries, I spent $38 on food. Now I'm going to have $362 in there. So that's just my running balance. So when I go to the store and I say, okay, I got to get food, yeah, I got food money. And that's not so needed on these items because we're prepared for those typically. We know we have a mortgage. But if I want to go out to eat with my friends or go do something, I can look at my entertainment fund, and if it says 0, that means, sorry fellas, I can't go out. I have to be humble enough, I have to be mature enough to say, I don't have the funds to do that. It's not in the budget this month. I overspent last month. I can't do it, because if you do, it's going to go here and add these jokers up, and that $16,000 is going to keep climbing on these debts. So our goal is to make sure that we always have money in here, and if we zero it out, that's fine. Next payday, there's a little bit of money there. But we want to try to accumulate some. Now, if we find that we're way over budget, that's a wonderful thing in the sense of if I've been putting $350 into my utilities, but it's actually averaging out this year to $275, well, maybe this accumulates up a little bit. I can take a little bit of that and earmark it over here. So again, this is just a very basic. We'll get into this more in some more detail. But I do this on simply a pencil and paper spreadsheet. So when I go in here, I erase the $550 and I put the new amount, whether I added it in or I went and I paid a bill. And this lets me know. So all I have to do is look at this category right here. If I'm going on vacation, I've been accumulating over, let's see, this is July. Let's say I haven't taken any vacation. I should be at $1,400. So I'm about to go on vacation. I know this is how much I have earmarked for that vacation. If I don't have it, then I can't go. And that's just how we have to be. Now I'm going to close this real quick. I'm going to show you that's a super simple. I like simple, keep it simple. But if you like more extravagant, I have this budget planner here. You can find these things online. You can create your own if you're good with Excel, whatever the case might be. But you can see this one is much more detail, much more elaborate. Has a budget tracking in here, has a budget dashboard, so you can see, I got to move the screen over, so it shows you all these categories, income, expenses, etc. It's just a little fancier if you like that. I like playing with things like that, but as far as my own budget, I'm telling you, I use a ledger that looks very much like this. It's just a column ledger, and I pencil it in, erase it, I put in the amounts that I spent, I put in the amounts that I added, and then I keep the ledger and the totals. That's it. That's how I do it. We'll get into some more videos. We're going to get deep diving into how to really prioritize these to get out of debt. My goal is to help you get out of debt so we can finally reach that investment and reach that goals for the future to make some plans for what it's going to be like down the road to not have debt and to have income coming in from our income. All right, we'll catch you guys later. Thanks.